My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the Political Orphans. Today we're going to be talking about ANTIFA. We're going to be talking about Stellantis heading to the US, how the conservative won a majority in Newfoundland, and the new conservative DEI petition. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man?
What's happening, buddy? We're twinsies today. Got the same shirt.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I just need a.
Yeah, you just need a cap. What do you got? Oh shit! Yeah, we are twins.
I have about 10 or 12 up there. That
so
you can see a couple there.
You color match it.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna match.
Yeah.
I just don't have a gay tattoo on my neck, though. My apologies. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Yep. I need a big penis.
That's why I
lashes, right?
I went in. I said, "What's the gayest tattoo you can give me?" He's like, "These." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I'll take those."
Cool. A penis with wings.
Yeah, that's right. A flying penis. Wolf, what's up, brother? Wise guy, Pam, how you guys doing?
No, Wolf, you are not late. You were actually on the other show with David Creighton. So was Wise Guy. Right. So was, I don't know if Pam was there, but yeah, always for some interesting conversations.
How did that go?
I enjoy talking to him because he's more of a conservative, right? He's more conservative than you are.
Oh, for sure.
But he's been in the biz for so long that it's always interesting to hear. You know, I started this journalism reporter, however you want to call it, because of social media, because of the platform that I built over the years.
Yeah.
He was prior to the internet. He actually studied.
Oh, yeah. He's old school.
Journalisms. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
from the before
it's fun.
Time. Yeah. He's I've caught it a few times. He's seems like a pretty cool guy.
Man, he is able to go on some rabbit holes, though.
Some serious rants, right?
Blah, blah, blah. I asked him one question. I think he went 9 minutes straight. Even the comments are like, "Are you going to let Nico talk?"
Yeah. Wise guy says, that was a pretty good conservative corner just now. I enjoyed. David was pretty passionate. Like, remember the movie Anchorman? Steve Carell's like breakout. Reminds me of that.
Anchorman is still one of the best movies.
Oh, sorry, I'm not Anchorman. No, that's Anchorman's the one with Will Ferrell. I'm thinking of the one with Jim Carrey and Steve Carell. With Steve Carell's big breakout role. He plays an Anchorman. Bruce Almighty, I think.
Bruce Almighty is when he gets God is Black, and it's what's his name? Morgan Freeman.
That was a good movie. I like that movie.
That dude has a phenomenal voice.
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
I would fuck that voice, whatever the fuck that means.
He was born to narrate documentaries, for sure.
Yes, indeed. Let's start with something funny because this is hard. This is hard for me to believe this.
Yeah. What are they?
There's nothing that crazy going on. So when that happens, I need to find some funny shit, and this is something I wanted to talk about yesterday, but here's something that is trending. People in Canada are posting like the fact that her name is Karen is even better. It's so awesome.
This is the I'm Antifa because I'm against fascism. Yes.
So there is a trend going on in Canada, supposedly, that we need to identify ourselves as Antifa. So I'm Canadian. So Karen Messier, I don't know who she is, but the fact that she's a white liberal and her name's Karen, she was like born for this.
Yep.
But I'm Canadian. I'm Antifa. And on this Thanksgiving Day, considering what's going on in much of the world, I can say that I've never been more grateful to live in such an incredible country. And talking about Canada and how she's Antifa. And I started seeing this all over the place. And the memes, the meme section is even better than the post itself. But I could find at least 12 others in Canada with good audiences. They're all saying that. And
that those midgets, the Krasenstein brothers, they're always saying that shit. You know who they are. You must know. Just Google.
No, but not from the name. I don't.
You know the picture. Krasenstein, Brian Krasenstein and Ed Krasenstein. You know the picture if you just Google them right quick.
Brothers.
At least I think you would. They're like 5'2".
Oh Jesus. They're like 5'2".
But they're like they're basically liberal, influencers or whatnot, and I see them say that shit a lot too. That
they are Antifa.
Yeah. It's a lot of it's just the idiots just don't even know what they're talking about. It's just super simplistic thinking, right? Like the idea is like, oh well, Antifa stands for anti-fascist, and fascism is bad. Therefore, I'm Antifa. But what they don't understand is that like actual Antifa is a specific group of people who are broadly speaking violent. They're loosely organized. They're not like an extremely organized gang, but that's the part that's sort of how they do things. But they're very often at a lot of these big protests. They're often there as counter protesters, and they're quite violent. But of course, they have this thing where they call themselves anti-fascists, and then it's once you call them yourself like, oh no, see, we're the good guys because we called ourselves anti-bad guys. Anyone can call themselves whatever they want.
So I've been looking, and I know who they are, but I didn't realize they were midgets.
No, yeah, they're like 5'3" or something.
It's always easy when you look somewhat in shape, like when you're muscular and you post you post next to somebody that's your height and your size.
yeah, because they're pretty jacked, and I wouldn't have thought it either. There's a picture of well, I'll show you here. This picture of them with RFK Jr., who's not.
Yeah, I saw that.
Super
6 feet
tall,
right?
Yeah. Okay, he's like whatever, like 5'11", 6 foot, but like they look like absolute pygmies next to him. They come up to like his shoulders.
Yeah, no, I saw the picture as I was looking, but this is the part that I find very funny is I started seeing those I'm Antifa, because as I said, I follow a bunch of leftists because I'm always curious to see what they're talking about.
Yep.
And I keep on seeing them like by the dozens, like I'm Antifa. And I have at least 12 in my list here, but then I see this. Then I see somebody, Roddy. I follow this guy because the shit that comes out of his mouth is just absolutely outrageous. But he's like, no, stupid, because it doesn't exist. Referring to Clyde do something. Do you think Canada will follow the US in labeling Antifa a terrorist organization? And this is what I find interesting with those people posting, I'm Antifa. And then you have other people saying it doesn't exist. Do you guys realize that they were labeled as a terrorist group in the US? That you saying that will probably bar you from entering the US now? Like,
I think that. Oh, I doubt they thought that through. I think that's why they're saying it is because it got labeled a terrorist group, and I think some of them, that's sort of it's an in joke. It's a liberal in joke. They're saying like, oh yeah, Antifa, these big bad guys. I'm Antifa, haha. They don't actually. I think a lot of them don't actually realize that no, this is actually real people, and they're not. They're not good guys. To label them a terrorist organization, yeah, I mean that might be a little, that's definitely partisan. That's partisan politics, but they're not good guys. They're not good people. They are, they do exist. They're committing a lot of crimes at the heart of almost every single, really disruptive, large left-wing protest. You're going to find these guys, and any large right-wing protests, you're going to find them there too. As counter protesters, often, stirring up shit, often sort of inciting violent behavior, doing things to try to get them to be attacked.
And that's what's funny, because if you look at that post, memes are always a great answer to people's idiotic comments. And no, stupid, because it doesn't exist. Then you have this post right here. Antifa is not an organization. We just have a flag, uniforms, official colors, local chapters, meeting places, email signups, and clear directive for members.
Yeah, exactly.
But
right?
we don't exist. But we don't exist.
A good analogy is actually Anonymous, the hacker group.
Sure. Yep.
They're a decentralized group. They don't have a clear leader, and so it's hard to exactly point this as a leader, but to say that Anonymous does not exist is just wrong. It's not correct. And it's the same thing going on with Antifa. No, they don't have a specific leader the way other groups might. But that's also by design, right? It's decentralized by design. So they can make these claims. Oh, we don't exist. We're just a bunch of people happen to show up at this protest, all dressed the exact same, all with the same agenda, all behaving the exact same way. Oh, and we're all going to, after we commit crimes or commit violence, we're all going to run away to the same safe house at the end of the night.
Yeah, see, Kingsley Kraken, that's quite the name, man. Probably the same people who say the WEF doesn't exist or that it doesn't have an agenda, yeah. But they have a website, they have meetings, they have people with WEF in their titles, but they don't exist. Don't worry about it, they're not real.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, but it just, guys, this is the type of topics you could just shut the fuck up on it, because now you're just barring yourself from being able to enter the US, just like those people that have X on their passport. Now you have countries like the US and around the world that are like, so basically what you're saying is that you're telling us that you're mentally ill.
Yes.
By putting that on your passport. No, thank you. You can stay wherever the fuck you came from. And now they're all surprised, like, oh, Canada issues warnings to travelers to the US and other countries. Like, yeah, but no, you shot yourself in the foot. Like, and this is the same type of thing. It's so idiotic that I'm Antifa. Hey, Karen, that 65-year-old Karen, you're not Antifa. I'm sorry. You're just saying that because you think it's cool, that it's going to get you some comments and some likes. But that's the type of shit that could get you barred from the US. Is that I'm Hamas, and then I'm going to try to go to a country where Hamas is a terrorist organization.
A terrorist organization, yeah. A lot of it's just idiocy. I think, again, I think a lot of these people are just like normie liberals who think they're in on some big in joke. It's a big inside joke, and I think a lot of them actually don't think that Antifa actually exists. Now, certainly some of them do. And people who are actually informed do, and a lot of people who are saying it don't exist, they know that it does. They just have a vested interest in saying that. We'll take a few of these comments because there's quite a few coming in here. Kenzie says they are actually anti-fascists. They believe they are actually anti-fascists, talking about all the people making these posts as opposed to troublemaking lefties. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sure, I mean, anyone could be an anti-fascist if you brand anything you don't like as fascism, right? It'd be like, I hate cats. So hating cats is anti-fascism, right? Like, cats are fascists. Therefore, if I go around kicking cats, I'm just being anti-fascist. Like, that's exactly what they're doing. And of course, the real world doesn't work like that. And that's fundamentally, that is what the left is doing, just branding everything they don't like fascist, right? The fact of the matter is, fascism has a very specific meaning. And nothing about present day America or Donald Trump fits the bill whatsoever. One of the most common things you'll see is, oh, and you're telling me, they'll post a picture of ICE, immigration, I don't even know what it stands for, but the guys going around rounding up the immigrants, and they'll be doing like a hard takedown on some immigrant, and then they'll caption it, be like, "See, I told you this was fascism," or "Tell me this isn't fascism." And it's like, no, that really isn't fascism. Maybe it's aggressively enforcing the laws, sure, and you may have an issue with the style of it, but enforcing your immigration laws is not fascism by any sort of definition, unless you're an idiot.
This one's awesome. I'm an anti-fatso, but I'm still fat.
Yeah, exactly, right. You can be anti anything if you just label yourself that, and especially if you label, things you don't like as a bad thing, and then you can just be anti that bad thing, right? If you call someone a Nazi because they think that women can't have penises, well, then all you have to do to be anti-Nazi is oppose that person. And of course, that isn't really how the world works, but that's how they say it. Kenzie says, I've been called a fascist so many times. Yeah, I mean, we all have.
By the way, I stands for Immigration and Customs.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Or whatever you put in your drink to keep it cold, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right? Law of improbability says, but then you get the UK, which labels some groups as terrorist organizations, but arrest people protesting against them. That's pretty wild too, right? Because Hamas is, officially a terrorist organization. And then you have people being arrested for, I saw a guy who got arrested for holding up a sign saying, fuck Hamas, right? Because it's like, you're allowed to say, if you're not allowed to say fuck Hamas, which is a prescribed terrorist organization, something's going wrong. And I mean, it seems like every episode we do, there's something we talk about the UK, how the UK there's something really bad going on there. But they keep giving us so much material to work with.
Yeah, it's pretty scary what's going on there. But you know what? Since they're bringing Hamas to the conversation, did you hear about that? About what happened at the Kelowna airport? Like some of the screens were hijacked.
Oh yes,
and they were pushing. So since we're talking about Hamas, we might as well play the little video. So
I was actually kind of impressed by that, just the technological achievement of it.
Yeah, it's not that hard, bro. Like, there's nothing to be impressed about.
Hack an airport, and because I had the intercom going too, right? It was like, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Netanyahu in that robot voice.
Brother, I sold cybersecurity services for years. If you knew how not protected your content actually is, it's fucking scary.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mind, but you would hope an airport or like with national infrastructure, like critical infrastructure, would have some sort of
who runs those airports?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a private company, just so you know. We're not in the U.S. So here is a video of the Kelowna, BC airport public announcement system being hijacked with Hamas messaging. Anybody that can translate, I would appreciate.
Oh, this is in Kelowna.
Kelowna, BC, yeah.
Probably wasn't even a hack then. It was probably just like the actual guards or something.
The whole point, like, there's a bunch of pictures. Obviously, this is just a picture, and there's a bunch more if you want to see them. But that's basically what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Hacked by Mustarif Saberlezam. Israel lost the war. Hamas won the war honorably. You're a pig, Donald Trump. Twitter and Telegram, and the guy has his actual handle there. So the question is that hate speech?
Well, yeah, I mean, by certainly it's worse than disdain. It's by any objective measure it would be, but of course it would never be prosecuted as such, because a lot of these hate speech laws, they don't actually apply objectively. They only apply to there's lots of left things that the left will say that do qualify as hate speech under these laws, but they never get prosecuted because that's just how it goes.
But you're making a good point, because if you look at the first comment right here, it's basically saying starts with minor actions like this and street protests, then escalation is a playbook used across Europe. It's not like we don't know where this is going, but we're just letting it happen. Gad Saad wrote a book called The Parasitic Mind. Everyone should read it. That is a guy I would love to have on the show. I reached out to him before. That dude is, man.
He'd be huge.
Oh, yeah, I'm just a fan of what he writes. He's a smart guy. Love him or hate him, that guy's ballsy, and he goes to Parliament all the time.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. Even if we got him, we could probably get 10 minutes, and we'd be lucky to have that. But he's the kind of guy we could have on for 2 hours. Like we talk. We'll often talk about the what happened in Lebanon when there was a Muslim majority, and they basically oppressed and persecuted and killed many Lebanese Christians, and many of them moved to the West, and his family moved to Montreal, I believe, as part of that purge. So I'm sure he's got some real cool stories, and that's just his life story. That doesn't even touch all the stuff he has to talk about he's writing a book now called Suicidal Empathy, which is obviously just
describes the left very well.
Oh yeah, it just is such a perfect just the title alone, I want to read that book. It fits this moment perfectly. And the way he describes it is suicidal empathy, as in that's what's fundamentally wrong with the West. And he's talking about the West's suicide. And I think, with this insane immigration policies, with this DEI nonsense, with this self-hating, self-loathing culture that has sprang up within the left. It started in the left, but it's been exported to mainstream society all over the West, where the West seems to be almost suicidal. It seems to hate itself, despite the fact of the matter is the Western civilization probably has the most things to be proud of any civilization. And that's not shit in other civilizations. They all have things to be proud of. But the West is right up there. But we've all been trained and taught that we have to be ashamed of ourselves and our ancestors, and that we came from, there's something inherently wrong or bad or evil about the West. And frankly, the opposite is true. The West is inherently good. As a society, it's probably the most moral one in the world. If you consider, certainly if you look from the perspective of what the left claims are its values, progressive values, diversity, inclusion, tolerance for viewpoints. The West is a leader in all those categories, and yet they treat us like they've convinced us to believe that we're the racist ones. We're the ones that there's something wrong with us, when frankly it's the opposite. We're the ones who should be setting the example to the rest of the world, and we should be proud of that.
Law of Improbability 2 saying Gad Saad appeared on a small US show, so he might be willing to talk. No, I don't disagree. I've had guys that have way bigger following than Gad Saad. The problem is to get in contact with them. That's often the biggest problem. And you normally you get those guys by knowing somebody that they know. Then it's super simple.
Yeah. Sure.
I know people that know people, and this is normal, but I don't know someone that knows Saad that well to just do, hey, here's Nico, wants to have you on, do a little text intro, because that's normally how it gets done. But I'm not worried that we can get him on. It's just a matter of being able to get in contact with him, have the proper email address, because often those are not listed because they get a lot of fucking hate, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Should we take
go ahead. Go ahead, man. Because I just have a bunch of small stories. Just
I was thinking
we'll shit on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it's there's actually a bunch of good comments, so we'll just and since there's not a whole lot going on, we'll be able to get to the comments and get to these stories. So Bristle says, "Dude, it's Canada. All you need is a dog sled and a calculator to hack something." Talking about the airport hack, it'd be funny if across the screen it's like boobies comes across or something. remember the calculator?
But I wonder if they're gonna do anything to that guy. Obviously,
did they catch him? Do they know who it is?
The guy literally has his name.
But for some reason I think he's a Turkish hacker. I think he said it's me, Turkish hacker, or whatever his name is.
I'm gonna go check what his name.
Yeah, check it out.
Because it was definitely identified at the bottom of the.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think we know who it is, but I don't think we know his actual identity.
Cyber Islam.
Yes,
is the name of the guy.
Yeah, Kenzie says, and they want us to put all of our private info into digital ID to keep it safe. Yeah, I think your point here is saying they clearly can't be trusted to keep anything safe. I think I heard the argument against digital ID. And I think you've actually made a similar argument, but I heard I saw it on Twitter today, and something like it isn't even so much the premise of digital ID that's the problem. It's just that if you trusted the government, it probably wouldn't be an issue. It's just if you don't, then it becomes an issue, right? And in fact, I think there's a lot of stuff going on that's like that. In theory, it would, a lot of the things that are objectionable today, it's in theory, they're not that bad. And that's why they're so dangerous, because in theory, if people aren't really paying attention, you can, the anti-fascist thing we're talking about, it's kind of a good example, right? Because if you're not paying attention, you just be like, oh, anti-fascists. Well, clearly they're the good guys, right? Without doing any research whatsoever. But the fact of the matter is things that are the most dangerous are things that sound good on paper, but if put in the wrong hands, they can cause a lot of damage.
At the end of the day, you listen to communism. It sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Like, the idea sounds phenomenal. The way
In
it's
theory,
always applied ain't.
if not, if not for human nature, then it would be
great.
perfect. Yeah,
Exactly. But
you know,
let's not consider human nature in the equation.
Yeah, yeah. But that's just the left in a nutshell. All these theories, and they'll work perfectly if only for not, you know, if only we can just ignore human nature. But of course, you can. It would be
perfect.
Yeah, you can never, of course, ignore human nature.
No, of course not. Of course.
Kenzie says,
but hold on, they seem to be talking about the Northern Perspectives interview with Pierre Poilievre. Like, I think he's, bro, it's an hour long. I'm not fucking, I can't listen to Pierre Poilievre talk about nothing for an hour. But I saw a bunch of, like, again, like, let me just show you that. I literally opened my X and it falls on this, and this is from the interview. So just that. Do you want to listen to that?
what's this? His Godfather era? Is he sitting there like, you come here on the day of my daughter's wedding? That's what he looks like. He looks like he's like holding court there. What's his whole? Because
you know what? Let's listen to this one. I have not listened to it. I literally opened my X and it fell on this. So let's listen to what Pierre Carleone Poilievre.
Yeah, Pierre Carleone. Let's see what he says.
Should have been involved jail time. I mean, Trudeau broke the criminal code when he took a free vacation from someone with whom he had government business. It's just like, it's right there in the criminal code. If the RCMP had been doing its job and not covering up for him, then he would have been criminally charged. And again, he probably violated the criminal code in the SNC-Lavalin scandal. These would normally have led to criminal charges, but of course the RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government. But yeah, I would fire them, and in cases like that, I would report them to the police.
At least in that case, he's not wrong, because he's talking about the Ajakan. I don't know if you... there's a massive donor to the Liberal Party and somebody that the government had contracts with. Okay. He's the Ajakan. He is filthy fucking rich. And he invited Trudeau and his whole family years ago on one of his islands for Christmas vacation. And you can't do that. You cannot go on trips. You cannot take money from people that you give contracts to. That's fucking illegal.
Well, no, yeah.
Guess what? What's that's called? Corruption.
Yeah.
So that was brushed aside like nothing happened. And then the SNC-Lavalin. Do you remember years ago, not Pierre Poilievre, but Justin Trudeau had a justice minister that was an Indian girl, a native girl. It was the first time, and it was a big deal. Like, Trudeau's like, and then he ended up, she's a lawyer by trade, and he ended up getting rid of her because she wouldn't avoid the SNC-Lavalin scandal that was going on, that they received government funding and they sent it to a country. I believe that it was, what was the country? Man, that is like 10 years ago. But there was a massive...
Bumpy says it was Jody Wilson-Raybould. That was her?
That's a justice minister that she's native. And there was a massive scandal with SNC-Lavalin probably 10 years ago.
Yeah. Like, what was that? Was that just classic, like, pay for play, like corruption, like executives being bribed? Okay.
It was SNC-Lavalin was connected to Trudeau. They received government funding, and they were caught in a corruption scandal in SNC-Lavalin corruption scandal. I'm just gonna... What was it was Libya. $48 million in payments to the Libya government between 2001 and 2011 to get good contracts. So they were connected to Trudeau, to the Liberal government, and they gave money in the corruption scandal. And he had told his justice minister to just forget about it. She wouldn't do it. So he basically got rid of her. And so what Poilievre is talking about is like 10 years too late. Because we're talking, I'm saying 10 years, I'm exaggerating. It's 2019. So 6-ish years ago. But the prosecution just finished now. Like literally last month, I posted about it. How the Ontario, I think it was the federal court just said it's okay. We're dropping the criminal case against Trudeau. Like it's so much bullshit. Like they waited that long to just drop the case when nobody else is thinking about it. That's probably why Pierre Poilievre mentioned it, because they were talking about it last month. But all to say that, like, I keep on seeing this posted everywhere on my feed, because obviously I follow some conservatives too, some conservatives, and they're all praising how this is the best interview ever. That guy has revealed a side of him. Like the thumbnail, you know, the guys from Northern Perspective.
Is this supposed to be a new Poilievre? Is this like a rebrand or something?
Yeah, a commoner that never worked for the private sector in his life. You know, that type of commoner?
Yeah, okay.
A guy that's worked in government for the past 20 years. It's interesting because, you know, we've been saying this for months. Even prior to the Dem election, we were already talking about this. How he needs to go out there and tell his story. And it always seems like people are listening to that stuff. But here is just, he's not a likable guy. Like, he is not, see, that's the thumbnail. Like, obviously, like, Pierre Poilievre is kind of almost in tears, and the guy from Northern Perspective is crying too. I'm like, brother, really? Pierre Poilievre does not have that in him.
I feel like those are focus groups tears. They ran focus groups to see, when's the best moment to start crying. I don't know. It's same old.
Just listen to this. So this is obviously Northern Perspective. In one of the most emotional interviews ever, Pierre Poilievre opens about Charlie Kirk, the weight of leadership, and why he refuses to give up on Canada. A side of him the media will never show. Okay, Charlie Kirk. He never mentioned Charlie Kirk until he got assassinated. The weight of leadership. Which leadership? You're barely a leader of the Conservative Party. What leader have you been? And why he refuses to give up on Canada. Bro, you hadn't done shit for Canada except have a pension by the age of 43. I
refuse to give up on Canada because I've got a really juicy pension, and you know it's pretty good for me. I don't know, man. You know, Wilf says Northern Perspective are always on their knees. Knob Goblin.
Yes.
There's a lot of these. There's a lot of the conservative influencers, like in the Canadian independent media space, that all seem to be very, pro Pierre, which makes sense because they're conservative. But they all seem to be very pro Pierre in the same ways, and they all seem to start getting access to Pierre at the same time. And it's pretty hard to not see, a pretty obvious, quid pro quo here. And it's the same quid pro quo that's, tale as old as time, right? Access for favorable coverage. Any politician, most politicians have that sort of deal with favored journalists. But it's a little disheartening to see it from, the new media, the independent media, because it's just becoming the same old media.
There's no difference in their actions. I don't see anything different from the people like Rachel Gilmore that will
she's one
suck
of them.
Carney's balls
Mario's
on everything he does.
One.
But I don't see the difference between they endorse a different because I don't call them, I'm saying different because the name's different, but they're all part of the same party. We're not part of it, obviously. No. But they all endorse their leaders like they're serving, they're the Messiah. Like they're here to save them.
Yeah.
And they all have the same talking points. They all say the same thing. There's no difference to me as I see Rachel Gilmore and I see a lot of the content creators on the right. I see no difference except they just endorse a different political party. At least they think it's a different political party, but they suck up to them the same way. There's no difference to me in the same way as you see the MAGA movement in the US. They don't think that Trump can do anything wrong. Conservatives here do the same thing with Pierre Poilievre. They do the same thing. The liberals are doing the same thing with Mark Carney. It's like they can't do anything wrong. Like, guys, you're idolizing them.
Yeah, it's
100%,
tribalism, and that's
100%. And I don't see the difference. I don't see a difference. The behavior is the same. It's the exact same fucking behavior.
yeah. A Bumpy says Northern Perspective has money. Gilmore ain't interviewing in peace. I think I was talking about Jasmine Lane. I think I was thinking about her instead of Rachel Gilmore. Yes, because Rachel Gilmore is the crazy lefty. Yeah, so I'm definitely thinking of Jasmine Lane.
No,
but
if you're talking conservative, it's Jasmine Lane. Yes.
Yeah, conservatives
Pierre Poilievre. Yep.
That's it. Yeah, they all seem to get access, and it's a bit disheartening because the promise of this new independent media, and I think we like to even consider ourselves in this, just people who are just regular people who are providing information, providing news, providing providing or playing the role that journalists have traditionally played in society, which is inform the public. But it's supposed to be without fear or favor, supposed to be without bias, or at least if you have a bias, you wear it on your sleeve. And it is not about softball questions, friendly interviews, because that doesn't tell anyone. At the heart of it, people are just trying to figure out the story. People are just trying to figure out what's going on, and just having someone on and having a scripted interview where they already know what you're going to say, that doesn't inform anybody.
And it's a shame because at the end, and this is the part that I need to emphasize on. I am not saying that they don't believe what they're saying. I'm not saying that the Northern Perspective, the Jasmine Lanes, the Moose on the Loose, the Mark Nixons, the Mario Zelaya, they don't believe in Pierre Poilievre. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't believe he's the best man for the job. The point that I'm pointing out is that their behavior is no different from what they say about Pierre Poilievre than somebody like Jasmine Lane, not Jasmine Lane, but Rachel Gilmore would say about liberal policies. Their behavior is the same. It's like, it's not okay to question authorities. And I had a relationship with a lot of them, and somehow they don't talk to me after the election. Is it a coincidence? Of course not. It's not a coincidence. And all the power to them. You know what? If that's your prerogative, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. But at the end of the day, I will never endorse a political party. I will never have to walk that fucking political line, because I will call out my leaders. I don't give a fuck that they're conservatives or liberals. If you're doing something right, you're doing something right. If you're doing something wrong, guess what? You're doing something wrong. I find it like those videos. This is clickbait. That thumbnail is clickbait. He's not crying. If he is, it's like, and the Oscar for Best Actor goes to Pierre Poilievre. Like, he's not a likable guy. Have you ever heard a speech from him where you were moved? That you're listening to this guy and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, motherfucker is right.
No,
absolutely.
He's not that kind of a politician.
No, at all. And that's always, and I'm not saying Mark Scarney is either, because he is fucking horrendous. But have you ever heard those people move you? I haven't.
No, that's right. Mike McKenzie says, our biggest problem is what JFK warned his most famous speech: secret societies move in and hijack. My best comment tells the whole story. I'm not sure what you mean by the end there, but yeah, I mean, that's true. But what's funny is JFK was very clearly part of that society. It's, as George Carlin said, and we repeat a lot on here, it's a big club and you ain't in it. But JFK Jr. JFK was absolutely in that big club. He came from a very wealthy family, grew up on Martha's Vineyard. His rich daddy basically bought him a political career, starting in Massachusetts. So it's funny because he is right, but he's also part of the problem that he's describing.
Of course there are.
Yeah,
that's why they talk about it.
Yeah, exactly right. They're rubbing it in their face now, and some of them probably recognize that it's a bad thing, or maybe it's almost like a fish in water. It doesn't realize we're in water, right? He's talking about this unironically without realizing he's actually in the club. Wise Guy says, we are doomed because people never wake up to the uniparty that is Canada's government. Good cop, bad cop, all theater.
Yep.
Two colors, same paint. It's I mean, it is hard. It is hard to see a clear distinction between the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party. There's certainly some issues, but the thing I don't understand is why the conservative opposition just seems so toothless. It seems so feeble, so lame. They get up during question period, and Poilievre will say, he'll have his canned 2-minute speech or something, and then all the trained seals bark and clap like "Urf, urf, urf," and that's it. Never hear from him again. It's all as wise guy said, it's theater, and that's a good term for it. It feels like theater. It doesn't feel real.
Like I'm just on Northern Perspectives YouTube channel on the video, and that's all it is. It is literally, never once has Pierre Poilievre changed his story. Okay, sure, woman. Imagine having a genuine human as a PM. How is he a genuine human? He's been in Parliament for fucking 20 years. He hasn't done shit in 20 years. Like the comments are literally, they all sound to me like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's our savior. Savior of what? He's had 20 years to do something. He hasn't done shit. You know what? Forget 20 years. He's been the leader of the Conservative for what, 3 years now? What has he done in 3 years? Couldn't even fucking get elected. After 10 years of liberal policies have destroyed our country, he couldn't even fucking get elected. And he's still there, and people are still, he's going to save our country. Like, I really feel, when I talk to the Conservatives in Canada, I really feel like I'm that crackhead with my sign on the side of the street. Armageddon is coming. If you don't wake up, we're all going to die. That's how I feel. I'm like, hey guys, are you fucking crazy? Like, what's the drugs you guys are smoking? Because I need some. I don't understand. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's, I mean, sometimes that's how it seems. You seem like to me as well. It's one of those guys with those signs. You clearly, I think, have a sense that things are definitely worse than a lot of people, certainly than the mainstream does. But maybe you're right. You might be onto something. I guess we will. Certainly, it doesn't feel like things are going in a good direction or we're in a good place.
Where does he stand on Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, Bill C16?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm.
Where does he stand on the ostriches? Where does he stand on that? No, but those are all every single conservative I know, even though that I consider them liberals at heart, are all for scrapping all those bills. I have not heard of one single conservative that said those bills are great. What the fuck do you have to lose to talk about this?
And that's actually an interesting thing that he's going to talk about, because that's actually seems like kind of the exact kind of thing that Poilievre normally jumps on, right? Just a bandwagon-y trend that, it basically, like you said, it's a win-win. You can't lose by talking about that if you're a conservative. And normally Poilievre, that's one thing that he is good at, is knowing, what's the current thing and then jumping on that. And for whatever reason, he hasn't jumped on this, but because, as far as conservative politics go, this is a win-win situation. You can't go wrong. It doesn't surprise me that he's not talking about the C2, C8, C9, although I think those are the things that are most important. But those are less trendy, they're less bandwagony, and they rock the boat too much. So he won't, he doesn't talk about that. But those are the bills I'm talking about when I was saying it just feels like a bit of a feeble opposition. I don't really care about the what makes for a good speech in question period. I want him to be, I want the opposition to be banging the table, banging the drum on an issue that is, really, really dangerous for Canada. If there's even a 1% chance that Canada ends up the way UK is right now, I want all of the opposition leaders to be, screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're not doing it.
And this is my fault for being ignorant, but I did not realize that Leslyn Lewis 3 years ago ran against Pierre Poilievre for the leadership of the Conservative Party. Because that woman, man, what she's been saying she's literally the only conservative that's been talking against Bill C8, Bill C9. You have Andrew Layton that actually questioned Fraser last week about it, but she gave great fucking speeches in the House of Commons about it, and I'm like, God damn, she's a black woman, she's a doctor, so she's educated, she sounds very smart. I did not realize that she ran for the party, and supposedly that she was talking against the WEF. She was talking against globalism. And
Really?
I did not see it. Oh yeah, I've given up on the Conservative Party a long time ago, way before he was in power. But this is one that I would love to fucking talk to. I would absolutely love to have her on the show, or even off the record conversation, because I'm happy to see people like her, but I don't understand why he's not more vocal the way that she is. It's almost like he's allowing her to talk so that he doesn't have to. He's like, oh, she can take the heat, and if it doesn't go too well, I can just throw her under the bus.
And that maybe that's what he's doing.
But he's the leader.
Using her as like to clear a path for him.
But is that really the type of leader that you want?
No, that's not leadership. Annette says Leslie Lewis was my number one. Pierre Poilievre was my second choice. Yeah, and I mean, there was actually, it seemed, Kenzie says Lewis has been muzzled. Wilf says I voted for Leslie. A lot of people seem to be pro Leslie Lewis here. I'm not actually that familiar with her. And
that's my point. Like Wilf is saying she had a petition.
Oh, well, that's why she didn't win. That's why she didn't win the conservative leadership. That's the kiss of death right there.
I really took notice of her because I've been listening to the House of Commons, and I caught two of her speeches, and I'm like, God damn, who's that woman? And as I'm researching her, it's like, fuck, she actually went against Pierre Poilievre. Now, see this, I was being asked just when we left when I left with David Creighton earlier, who's one conservative you'd endorse? I don't know much about her, but Leslie. No, it's some of the comments at the bottom. You see when you click. Somebody in the comment asked that, and I was like, "Fuck, maybe Leslie Lewis." I like what she's saying about if somebody in the Conservative Party can stand up to C8, C9, you'll have my support all the time. If you'll stand up to C2, C8, C9, C12, C63, I'll endorse. You would have my support because those are the hill I'm gonna die on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be nice to see. Lewis
was the only MP that went out to support the convoy at the beginning.
Let's look into her more. I'm not too familiar with her.
I like her. I like what she has to say up to now, but I haven't digged very deep into her past. I'm talking about the last two speeches, at least C8, C9, when she said in the House.
Yes. Wise Guy says the opposition parties don't seriously challenge any bills that the government uses to take away people's rights. They know that when they get in power, they use those powers for their own benefit. Course. Yeah, and that sort of jives with the uniparty thing. I think it certainly feels that way. You don't want to rock the boat too much. You don't want to take away too much of the government's power because, in theory, you want to be the next government, and you're going to want those powers because that's what it seems like. It's all about power. It doesn't really matter. It seems like the politicians don't care nearly much about left and right as the society seems to.
Here's another one. Here's another topic I wanted to approach with you because obviously that's in your wheelhouse right there.
Yeah, we should probably even move on to the next topic.
Oh yeah. So Vincent Neil Ho, which he is part of the Conservative Party, I don't remember where he's from, Richmond Hill South, so he's from Ontario, was saying that DI should be dismantled and meritocracy should be restored. Sign here if you agree. So a Conservative MP put a petition together to scrap DEI policies, scrap DEI funding at the federal level, and Pierre Poilievre reshared it, signed here, and DEI restored the merit principle. I mean, so I did. But
I like that.
Of course he did. But they were saying, I did some research this morning, and there was, from what I could find, from 2016, since 2016, these woke policies that they call DEI have cost Canadian about $1 billion. So I'm like, should we scrap it? Yeah. You should be 100%. We should 100% get rid of any fucking DEI policies. I think we can all agree to that. But DEI policy is based on woke policies. So I started digging a bit more. And do you know how much money we have given as foreign aid through the department called the Official Development Assistance during the same period. So since 2016, DEI policies have cost Canadians about $1 billion. You know how much we gave in foreign aid during that same period? The number blew my mind.
How much?
Give me a number.
For how long? Going back how long?
10 years. It'd be between 9 and 10
How much
years.
have we spent in foreign aid in total for 10 years?
How much have Canada sent in foreign aid?
Oh, I don't know, 5 billion.
Brother.
10 billion.
We've given more than 24. We've committed to more than 22 billions just to Ukraine alone since 2022.
Oh shit. 200 billion?
$71.1 billion in foreign aid that we've given. So as much as I agree, but as much as I agree that DEI policies should all be scrapped, that should all be gone, we shouldn't be spending a dime on those fucking ridiculous policies. 1 billion versus 72.
Oh yeah. I frankly, I don't even like there's no point in even talking about, because the arguments against DEI have nothing to do with money. It doesn't matter how much it costs us. It wouldn't matter if it earned us $1 billion. They should still be scrapped. Just on
100%.
A pure fairness principle. Yeah.
100%.
This idea of like a meritocratic society is just the only way you can run a successful society. It's just the only way you can do it, and it's the easiest way to do it. It's the easiest way to structure society. We're tying ourselves into fucking knots to structure society into really complicated ways, and the end result is the society runs worse than it would if we just did it the easy way. But I mean, that's the fucking the woke left for you is make simple things complicated, make things that work broken. That's really what they're all about.
And Kenzie Kraken got
and then
the
call it
joke
progress.
Here. But Kenzie got the joke, and this is where I was going with this. So good for you. And a lot of the foreign aid are for DEI policies in other countries. Yeah. That was kind of the point I was making. So good for you, Kenzie, because that was basically what I was saying. Quick calculation: at 41 million Canadian, we all gave about 1.7 thousand, so $1,700 each to foreign aid over the past 10 years.
Eesh.
That's about what each and every single Canadian. Yeah. Can you imagine $72 billion what we could do for that?
Yeah, but we can get gender neutral rice.
72.
Yeah, we can get gender neutral rice from Vietnam. Yeah, and shitting on the beach in Bangladesh is down 7%. So next time someone tells you it was a waste of money to send them $100 million, you can tell them that statistic. It's all just it's all nonsense. Everything it's like everything is nonsense. We're living in this la la land, this where nothing means anything. Oh, $1 billion, 10 billion, 50 billion. Or we're gonna be like the guy who is living on the streets broke, but he used to be a millionaire a couple of years ago, right? And when he was a millionaire, he was giving away money and throwing parties and not thinking twice because he didn't see what was coming. And now he'd love to have some of that money back, but it's not the way the world works. We're spending money. The only difference
is that the government's spending money that don't belong to them. Because again, governments don't generate money; they tax people.
Yeah.
So the only money they get through taxation. So it's very easy to spend money that don't fucking belong to you in the first place.
Yeah.
And when people are taxed at 42% of their income.
Yeah, that's wild.
42% of their income. Yes.
That's wild. Trevor says, yes, Rob, because they're here now. Trevor, how's Wasaga? Yeah, that's true, eh? Shooting on the beach in Bangladesh has gone down 7%, but in Canada, it's gone up 248%. So I don't know, man. It's all fucked. We're not going to make it. So there's no point. No point in stress about it.
So I'll bring up two quick stories. I'll try to make it in 5 minutes, okay? This one's for you.
Yeah.
Cocaine trafficking sentence cut in half for Jamaican facing deportation from Canada because the judge said the man experienced systemic and personal discrimination as a black man, and this has certainly played a role in his criminality.
No, it didn't, you idiots. What? Who is saying this with a straight face? How are these people not being laughed out of the courtroom? No, what played a role in his criminality was that he wanted to make a lot of fucking money, right? That's all it is. And he took a risk. He took a gamble. He decided to traffic drugs. Nobody's sitting there being like, oh, I was going to go in school, university and get a degree, but someone called me the N-word on the subway the other day. So I'm just going to.
That's it. I started selling drugs.
Yeah, I'm just going to start trafficking cocaine. It's so stupid, man. There's everywhere you look, you're just like, oh, Jesus. That's just everywhere you look. You just see moral and ethical and societal decay everywhere you look.
But hold on, the story gets even better. An Ontario judge cut the sentence in half for a black cocaine trafficker from Jamaica facing a significant likelihood of deportation because he's already serving a 6-year prison sentence in Canada for trafficking in fentanyl and gun-related offenses.
And there's only a significant risk. It should be an absolute fucking certainty risk. That's insane. That like this whole concept of cutting criminals' sentences in half or giving them a break on their sentence so that we don't disrupt their immigration status is just, it's like the epitome of woke moral brain rot, and that shit has to stop like immediately, ASAP.
Yep. So, okay. But at the end of the day, he came here from Jamaica when he was 19 years old. He's saying that he grew up in extreme poverty where there was a lot of crime. That's what fucking happens when you import people from third world countries.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I don't want someone who's going to be in poverty if they come here. We want people who already have money or a skill where they can trade their skill or their education for a good salary. So then they will contribute to society. They will pay taxes. This idea that you can just bring poor people from the third world with no skill, no education, throw them into Canada, and they'll somehow become productive members of society is, again, this absurdity at the very heart of the woke left worldview, and it is destroying the social fabric of the entire of Western civilization.
Do you want we have like 2.5 minutes left. Do you want to finish on a funny note? Because I saw this and I had to share this. We can take a couple comments if you want afterwards.
We'll take this
as a joke. Yep. As a joke. Indian international students in Brampton. Did you see this video? This is fucking hilarious, bro.
This is Brampton, bro.
What? This is it, man. Like, yeah, this is funny. It's not, but like at the same time, it's still, you know what they say, right? Import the third world, become the third world. This is a shit that you see in the third world. This is not stuff that's supposed to happen in Canada. And yes, it is funny. It's funny, right? But it's also, it's a sign. It's a symptom of this much larger rot that we're seeing everywhere.
Yes, sir. Just like people throwing their garbage on the side of the streets.
Exactly. That's exactly Indians. It's exactly
the people that are going to a beach. I don't know if you saw that, but people taking bath in public pools. They're literally washing their ass crack in the water where people are bathing.
Or going out and grabbing fucking swans from the local pond and eating them. Like it's just everywhere you look. It's little things, but it all contributes to the decay of society. And what happens is, even the people who are from here, we look around and you see that and you're like, well, fuck, why would I obey the rules? Why would I obey the rules of society if these people aren't? And then the whole thing goes to shit. The whole thing falls apart. You know, we had a high trust society and it's becoming a low trust society because we're bringing in large numbers of people who do not share our values. And we are not making any push to assimilate, for them to assimilate whatsoever. And we're calling people racist who are noticing all the shit things that are going on around them.
It's hard not to.
Yeah. So we got 2 minutes here. We'll just take a few comments, and then we'll
more like 30 seconds. But you can do a lot in 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, that's right. I can have sex twice. There's law of improbability says I can guarantee you that a lot of the foreign policy crowd think the money goes to genuine aid programs rather than impractical grift. Yeah, I think most people think foreign aid is some highbrow thing where it's like, you know, you're funding the education of women in some poor country, and
Uganda.
maybe, and maybe it is, but the education is telling them that men can give birth and women can have penises.
No, at the end of the day, all that money is siphoned through.
It's a grift.
NGOs.
It's a giant grift.
100%.
And what happens is, on paper, it says, we built 10 schools in Uganda for $10 million. Well, sounds great. $1 million a school. That sounds reasonable. And you go there, and it's like a mud hut that they paid a local $500 to build, and it's never been used. And then so they spend maybe $100,000 on these schools, and then somebody of who, I'll say Trudeau, but it's whoever's in power. It'll be Poilievre if Poilievre is in power. He makes off with $9.5 million. Now he probably has to kick back $1 million or $2 million to whoever's running the programs, but this is just basic ass corruption. It's not even new or interesting. It's the same shit.
As much as people love Pierre Poilievre, a question I would ask, how come are you worth millions and millions of dollars? Because I've seen estimates of his net worth to be between $15 and $20 million. Like,
how does that happen? How do all these politicians get that much money on 100?
You know exactly how.
Yeah, I know, of course. It's a rhetorical question, but how is this not raising more eyebrows? It's almost like everyone just accepts it. Yeah, of course they're corrupt. They're politicians. And that's what's so sort of disheartening about it, is the apathy. Everybody you talk to and say, hey, are politicians corrupt? They'll be like, oh yeah, of course. Everybody knows what's going on.
Nancy Pelosi, brother.
Yeah,
they're all as good at the only we can finish on this. They're eating the swan. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the ducks. They're eating this.
And Trump was right. They were eating them. Now, of course, the left all made fun.
And their remix was awesome.
Yeah, they're eating the swans. They're eating the ducks. They're eating the cats. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah. We'll end on that one because that's a funny. It's a good
comment. Way to finish.
Yeah. Yes, all right, guys, so we're going to put a pin in there now. If you are, of course, just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show. Hopefully you guys stick around. We did see a couple new faces tonight. Please consider becoming a member. You can do that through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can also buy us a coffee. You can see that in the top right-hand corner. And other than that, guys, most importantly, just come back. Stick around. Put some questions out there. I saw someone, I think it was he actually made a lot of Kenzie, I believe. He said earlier in the show that he'd been lurking for a while, but just started commenting today. Welcome. Hopefully you stick around. But if there are lurkers out there, be like Kenzie and throw some comments out there. If you've been watching the show for a while, that the show is heavily based on audience engagement. So that's really one of the ways that you can help enrich the show and contribute to this community as well. So come back tomorrow. And let's see all those comments, folks. Same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will see you then. Peace.